Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Felicia Starks with Fabulous Wellness Studio and Stark Naked Nutrition. This video today, very quickly, is about fat loss and of why fat loss is going to take longer than you expect for it to take. The reason is because you don't have any control over where the fat goes first. Most of the time, women that are like, oh, I need to get rid of my stomach or I need to get rid of this area. You don't have, you cannot spot reduce fat with exercise. I'm going to say it again. You cannot spot reduce fat with exercise. And because you cannot spot reduce fat with exercise or even nutrition, we get frustrated. And so some may have started working out. You've been going hard. You've been going really, really hard at the gym and your weight is fluctuating. Side note, any fluctuations that you have in the scale overnight and you didn't do anything different the previous day than you did the previous day, that is all due to water retention. So that's your body holding on to excess water. There's nothing you need to do. You don't even have any control over it. So because you don't have any control over it, just know the water is going to come off in a couple of days. So back to what you can control. Because we know you can't spot reduce fat with exercise. So you like, ooh, my stomach is too big or my arms or wherever. Even the back. I see these reels that people are posting. Do these exercises to get rid of back fat. Do this exercise to tighten up your arms. Do this type of exercise to work on your belly fat. There is no exercise that you can do that is going to get rid of fat in that specific area. What will happen is that exercise is very good for you. When you are strength training, it helps you build muscle. You actually also burn fat. The thing is that doing a lot of cardio is not very effective. However, the things that you do have control over is one, what you put in your mouth. And not what you think, but how you think. If you are focused or you are stressing and you are worried about things that you have no control over, then your body is going to respond by what? Probably holding on to water. It's not going to do what it needs to do because you're stressed. And when your body is in a fight or stressful state, it is in preservation mode. We're not talking about starvation, okay? Let's make sure we're clear on that. So the things that you have control over is what you eat. That is making sure, my recommendation is that you have protein at least in 3 of your meals that you have. How much protein? 4 to 6 ounces is recommended. About 20 grams with each meal. That's giving you roughly 60, but you probably need more than that. I can give you a formula to figure out if you want to know. If you want to know, put that in the comments. Eating sufficient amount of protein. You choose the protein, but just understand that if it's fatty, chicken wings, I know y'all love chicken wings, you ain't getting hardly no protein. And you gotta work too hard for them. I'm not gonna go on a tangent about chicken wings, but get some lean protein. Get some lean protein, whatever, whether it's tofu, whatever your source is, have at it. Lots of vegetables. Vegetables that are high in fiber. Why do you need fiber? Why do I recommend 25 grams of fiber a day? Because the fiber is what helps your body get rid of the stuff that you're eating. And lots of vegetables. I'm not talking about corn. I know everyone loves corn. Hey, I love corn too. But even with you chewing corn, when you swallow corn, if you happen to look in the toilet, when you get up after you pooped, that corn is pretty much whole. And if it's whole and you're eating it, how much has your body absorbed if the corn is still whole? Nothing. It has no nutritional value. So, lots of starchy vegetables. Like why do potatoes get a bad rap? What did white potatoes do to anybody? Listen, you gotta eat the vegetables, whether it's white potatoes, red potatoes, sweet potatoes, eat the potatoes. Cutting out carbs that are whole foods is crazy to me. So, don't cut out carbs, eat plenty of vegetables, drink half of your body weight in water. If you're drinking 2 bottles of water right now, that's not enough. You're too grown for that. If you're on this page, you probably are 30 plus, and you need to get your digestive system moving. If your gut is not healthy, it's going to be even harder to lose fat. If your gut is not healthy, meaning the food that you eat, you're not digesting it, it's not coming out, that is an issue. Sleep. You need 6 hours of sleep. All of these things are healthy habits that help lead you to the fat loss. The fat loss will be harder if you have underlying medical things going on. If you are peri, post, or pre-menopausal, that might be even harder. But guess what? It is not impossible. I know women that are post-menopausal, perimenopausal, whatever menopausal you want to say, and they are losing fat. Is it easy? Does it come off immediately? Absolutely not. However, it will come off with discipline. You have to be consistent. What does consistency look like? Consistency is you 24 to 26 days out of 30 days, you're on it. That means that the protein is in. You're not, if you're eating out, meaning you don't cook your food for at least 3 to 4 times a week, the reason you're having trouble with fat loss is because of that. And so there's a lot of things you have control over. What you eat, how you let your body recover is a big part of that. So I don't want you to get off of this live thinking that you can spot reduce fat with nutrition and with exercise. You will lose fat all over. The process will just be a little bit, it'll take, you cannot control where it comes from. The only way you can do that is with fat reduction services that I offer here in Arlington at Fabulous Wellness Studio, or getting surgery. And even with those, or even with those two, you're still going to have to be a little bit more disciplined with your food, because a lot of times people are like, well, how long are the results going to last? The results will last as long as you continue eating aligned with where you are or what your goal is. If you start drinking all the time, if you drink all the time and you are trying to lose fat, just know that as long as that alcohol is in your system, fat loss stops. Did you know that? As long as the alcohol is in your system, fat loss stops. Because alcohol, as cute as the wine and everyone says you can have a glass of wine, yes you can, it's still a toxin. Your body is going to do whatever it can, like it's going to get rid of the alcohol because it's a toxin. Any type of thing that you are taking in or that you're putting in your body that is toxic, your body identifies it as toxic and it's going to do whatever it has to do to get rid of it. So if you are an alcohol drinker and you're trying, you're like, oh, I want to lose fat, or you like, oh, I'm trying to work on my stomach, child, you're going to have trouble with doing that as long as you are drinking alcohol 2 to 3 times a week. If you're brunching it all the time, going to brunches and going to, most of the time, when you drink the alcohol, you also tend to eat more fatty foods because you're enjoying the moment. And I promise you, there is definitely a way for you to be able to go to the brunch, enjoy your girlfriends, let them have the mimosas, you eat the food that you want to eat without guilt, and you can still lose the fat. So it's going to take longer than you expect. it is March 14th. There should not be anybody, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, thinking that in 4 weeks you're going to be able to transform your stomach. Because you're not. Now you can do it with fat reductions, with non-invasive fat reduction at Fabulous Wellness Studios, or any body contouring place that you love to, like, that is close to you. But with even with diet and exercise being like you're on it 24 to 26 days out of the month, and you're on it, you're not going to make a significant amount of progress in 4 weeks. Most people who do competitions, it takes us anywhere from 12, 16, or 18 weeks for us to prep for a competition. So why, and we most of the time are going to start out with less fat. So why, if you have more fat than we do, why do you think your results are going to happen quicker? Yes, weight loss will come off. The water weight will come off first. Yes. But if you want to change how you look, fat loss is not sexy. The Giggles, go ahead and ask a question. Fat loss, a lot of people are not interested because it is not a quick process. Fat loss is boring. Fat loss takes longer. But once you lose the fat and you know how to maintain it, your life changes. So Giggles, ask your question here in the comments. So I told you the things that you have control over: the eating, making sure you get plenty of protein. The thing that I did water weight, I'm confused. Okay, I'll go ahead and put you on. Times a week is going to be so important, because it's a way to help you stay.
Okay, so this is my question. How you doing, first of all?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I know all the things that you said, you touched based on it already. I do have problems with my stomach. That is like the worst thing in my life to me. I drink a lot of water. I don't eat a lot. I don't eat pork or beef anyway.
Okay.
I'm cutting out the rice and the fried foods. But I have a problem with sweets. I do eat gummies, but I'm stopped all that because I know that's sugary stuff, and it's gonna go straight to this belly. And the question is, I walk all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I do 3.5 miles a day. I jog one, but I do the rest of it is walking. But
Okay.
the question is, if we have to drink so much water, why is it a problem to have the water weight? Like, what does that supposed to do? Because that's why I said I was confused about the water weight thing.
Okay, that's a great question. I'm so glad that you asked. So the water, there's two parts to it. So the water, because our body is made up of water, then it's needed to flush things out.
Okay.
That's why the water is important. But if what happens is, if you don't drink enough water, then your body, in response to you not drinking enough, will hold on to extra water.
Oh, so that causes, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you're holding on to extra water, it could, and I think I said at the beginning of the video, where the scale will fluctuate, where the scale like goes up 2 pounds, like, okay, where'd that come from?
Right.
Guaranteed it's from the water, but it's your body's response to so many things. It could be that you had something with a lot more salt. It could be that you had more carbs, and carbs are going to cause our body to retain a little bit of water anyway.
Yeah.
If you did a harder workout, let's say you did workouts and you did a little something where it was a little bit more taxing on your muscles, and your muscles needed to repair, you're going to retain water with that. If you still have a cycle, you will retain water. If
Mhm.
you have not pooped, you'll end up like that's one of the reasons that the weight will fluctuate. But as far as how much water you need, like there are
Mhm.
so many bodily things that goes on that our body needs a certain amount of
Mhm.
water.
Mhm. Mhm.
What's ideal is half of your body weight in ounces. I say not like a minimum of 70 to 90 ounces
Mhm.
would be the minimum,
Okay.
because some people just have a hard time with water. And I add sweetener to mine, whatever you have to do to be able to make it palatable so that you can drink it. I say do that. But
Okay.
how much water are you drinking?
I'm only drinking, honestly. I do have this, this right here. I
Okay,
drink
so
this.
that's that's a good size. That's about 40. That's
Mm,
might be, is that 60?
yep, that's about it. Yep. Gotta read it.
How many ounces does it say?
Let me see. I can't read this stuff.
I think that might be 60. It might be a half gallon.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it say. That's what it say. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a good amount for, even if I was, so because a gallon is 128 ounces. So if you're
Mhm.
drinking half, that's putting you right around 64.
Right.
I would say if you're doing that, that's a good start. I would add an extra bottle, add an
Okay.
extra like either 10 ounces or
Okay.
16 ounces, just to make sure you're getting enough
Okay.
water.
Okay.
Um, but the water, your weight is going to fluctuate. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't have any control over it.
Right.
And the scale will jump up, but I guarantee you, if you keep going on,
Mhm.
it'll go back down. And what happens is sometimes when you're losing fat, another thing that happens that a lot of people don't realize is when the fat cells empty, then um when the fat cells empty, then
Mhm.
water is put into those fat cells to see whether or not the fat is going to come
Okay.
back. Once your body
Oh wow.
realizes that the fat is not coming back, then that fat cell empties with the water, and then that's where you'll notice that there's a big weight loss.
Right.
So the weight goes down a lot. So even though I talk about fat loss, and some people don't understand what weight loss, the difference between weight loss and fat loss,
Mm-hmm.
it we most of the time concentrate on weight, when
Yeah.
fat is what changes how we look. Does that help?
Yeah, that does. Thank you.
You
I
are
appreciate it.
welcome.
Thank you. And I know, oh, thank you in the comments, Brian D. I appreciate that. I also want to tell you that I need to I wanna like I wanna ask you, let me just this last question. I just wanna know one thing. To get the stomach down, what do you suggest? Like what types of sit ups do we do? Like the pull ups on the bars or we just sit up, laying down on our and getting to our knees, like
You want me to be honest with you, like I always am?
yeah, I really do.
There is not one exercise that you can do that will get rid of the fat that you have in any particular area. So the leg lifts, the abs, none of it is going to focus directly on your stomach.
Okay.
That was my reason for even starting this, because someone sent me
Okay.
a message this morning
Okay.
asking how to get rid of the belly fat.
Okay.
You cannot spot reduce fat with exercise. What will happen is you're building up your abs. So your abs, you're building up that muscle, but you won't be able to see it until the fat is gone. And the only way to spot reduce fat in just one area is either with body contouring, that's
Okay.
not invasive,
Right.
or with lipo.
Okay. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Those like
Okay.
you of course you could do like cool sculpting or something like that,
Right. Right.
but
Okay.
you can't
It's
spot
not gonna get okay.
mm-mm.
Okay. All right. Well, thank
So
you.
I
I
would say
appreciate.
this: because you cannot control where the fat comes
Mm-hmm.
from, focus on making sure you get enough calories. I'm gonna post something in the comments
Okay.
on how to. I just posted and let me see if I can pin it. I don't know if I can pin it.
Okay. And I do that.
That way, that make sure your calories are on point, and also make sure
Okay.
you get your water in, get your sleep in. Though it'll come off, it's going to take longer than you expect. So you might have a friend that like, ooh, girl, I lost 20 pounds. And that's great you lost 20 pounds.
Right, right.
Did your size go down? Because sometimes you can lose 20 pounds and you still be in the same size. And you
Right.
could have just been retaining a lot of water.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
I don't get caught up in the whole like, ooh, I dropped 10 pounds.
Right.
That's great. I want to change the way my body looks with or without clothes. That's just
That's
me.
right. That's right. Exactly. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much for joining
Take
me.
care.
I appreciate you joining.
Thank you.
You have a good one.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye. So I'm going to end it here just to remind you, you cannot spot reduce fat with exercise. I don't care what your favorite influencers tell you. There's not a fat burner pill. Well, there are fat burners, and even those are questionable because you're not going to burn fat from any particular area. Nutrition, having balanced nutrition. I just made a comment telling you how to, like, without hiring anyone, how to change and be able to sustain what you lose. A caloric deficit is a key. Change the way I look, and yes, with or without clothes, that is it. So if you need help with nutrition, I do help with nutrition. I'm a certified level 1 coach with precision nutrition. I'm also a fitness and nutrition specialist, as well as I am a transformation specialist. Like, I can spot reduce fat with my fat reduction service. Is non-invasive. And until tomorrow, you can try before you buy. It's $99 where I can spot reduce fat in your stomach. If you want to get those love handles under control, if they are messing up that outfit, if you have an outfit that you bought and you are not able, you can't button it. 5 to 10 inches of fat gone down in 30 days is what I do at Fabulous Wellness Studios. It ain't no magic. It ain't none of that. It is sustainable as long as your nutrition is aligned with it. You don't have to diet. You don't have to give up all those foods. Like, cutting out carbs is crazy. Cut out the highly processed carbs. Cut out the muffins that you get at Starbucks. So if you have any questions, you need any help with your nutrition or getting to your body goals and being able to maintain it, send me a message. If you want to take advantage of the try before you buy special that ends tomorrow, you can take Snatched to 682-297-6645, and don't go crazy with trying to get into a certain weight and all that kind of stuff by a certain time, because I told you at the beginning of this broadcast, you don't have control over how quickly your body releases fat, how quickly your body gets rid of the weight. You have control over the food. You have a control over how many hours of sleep you get. You have control over what type of food you decide to give yourself. You have control over how much water. You have control. It takes a little bit of discipline. If you need some guidance along the way, I'm here. Hope you have an amazing day. Talk with you soon.